Enterprise TV, a tradition of truth.
Right, if you just joined us, it's still Enterprise Friday on Enterprise TV. The National University Commission, NUC, has identified and shut down at least 58 illegal universities or satellite campuses operating in Nigeria, adding that certificates obtained from the institutions will not be recognized for compulsory one-year national service employment and further studies. Chris Meyaki, the acting executive secretary of NUC, said in Abuja that arrests have been carried out concerning the illegitimate institutions. Meyaki further mentioned that the Department of State Service DSS played a role in cracking down on the unlawful institutions and those behind them. The revelations followed the suspension of degree certificates from 2 Francophone West African countries and other countries after an undercover journalist detailed how he acquired a degree from a university in the neighboring Benin Republic under 2 months and was subsequently deployed for the National Youth Service Corps NYSC scheme. In addition, the Commission, in a public announcement signed by NUC's acting executive secretary, disclosed the closure of the fake institutions. Meyaki added that 9 other institutions and campuses labeled as degree mills were under investigation or subject to ongoing court actions. And still with me in the studios to make sense of this big story is Mr. Cyril Abaku. Thank you for hanging on with us in the studios. Now let's go to the big story. This is really a very bad one. How bad is this to the reputation of our dear country, Nigeria, especially our educational institutions and the Ministry of Education?
It's worse than you can imagine. As a matter of fact, I wonder if this is not an epidemic, a certificate epidemic. I mean, Nigeria is, I don't want to use the word that comes to mind. I would have said it's ruined. It's ruined. You know, if you open a carton of fish and you spot one that is rotten, how do you want to, the whole carton is condemned, really. You may have good ones, but who has the time to be checking good from bad? Because sometimes, you know, they say when something wants to go bad, it's from the head it begins. But sometimes the head is bad. If you find a bad head, do you want to risk taking from other portions of the body? You never know what has gone wrong. When a bad place, first it was about 2 universities in Benin, Benin and Togo, right?
Yeah, exactly.
that were affected. Now, how did we not know from the beginning?
And how long has this been?
How did we not
ongoing?
know? How have we not known all this while? Why? Thankfully, he said the DSS played the role. But is it that they knew all this while and they just kept quiet, or those whom they fed intelligence to didn't want to do anything about it? Shouldn't we be somebody from the past heads of the NUC to ask them questions? Shouldn't we be talking to former ministers of education, Adama Adamanko, and to ask them questions? Professor Claudius, I can't pick his other name, the first minister of state for education under Buhari, shouldn't we be asking questions to know, guys, were you people aware of this and what did you do about it? Because a country, look, for all you care, it doesn't matter how the president's certificate issue was resolved. The question is that for as long as that matter lasted, in the international community, Nigeria's reputation took a serious beating. And to this day, there are those who believe, quite frankly speaking, and I can't blame them much, that matter was not duly resolved. Because the BBC did a story saying that the matter, that, you know, the president's certificate was genuine. But when we read the BBC report itself, they wrote to him to say he should give them, he should supply them, feed them a copy of his certificate. The one he sent didn't have, I think, the school's logo or something like that. The argument initially was that the one he fed to INEC might have come. No, the school, I think, made the excuse that the one he fed INEC might have been a photocopying error that cut off the. But it was that same one the president also fed to the BBC. So the question is, The court has ruled, okay? Yes, but people still have little questions here and there. Now, the matter on the table is, if even a president certificate, for all you care, could be brought into the public as a matter of debate, okay?
To the ridicule of Nigerians.
Of Nigerians. Anywhere Nigerians are now, they start asking, is that genuine? And then, you recall that a few weeks ago, it was LASU. LASU was in the news. People were buying LASU certificates. Like we are buying sardine off the shelf.
Whoa.
Like we are buying FMC. It was as if it was being hawked. People were buying it up. Yes, now. It was a sting operation. I think it was a newspaper that also took the story to town. That one died a natural death, or died an unnatural death. Now, it is illegal universities up to as much as 58. That is not an isolated case. That's an industry.
But I used to think that before a university sets its operation in a country, especially for Nigeria, it needs to get ordained by the NUC. It needs to be registered with the NUC. So why is it that all this while we had universities operating in Nigeria, were they registered, or were they given a thumbs up by the NUC in the first place?
No, now, so because the NUC has called them illegal categorically. But the question is, were they registered?
That is the question.
And operating this anomaly? Or is it that they were operating without anybody even knowing?
Knowing in the first place.
If it was that they were operating without anybody even knowing, then the indictment is not really on the universities.
It's not on the universities.
Yes.
So who should it have been?
Come on. The indictment is on the Nigerian state itself. The NUC, the police, the DSS, the Minister of Education. People were operating this business. Haven't you seen now? So when you have fake products in the market, and now that goes to say that those wines are these are not approved. What do they normally do? They destroy them. They arrest people who produce them. Am I correct? Copyright people to National NCC Copyright Commission. They do the same thing. They go to markets and say these books are not produced normally. They pick them and they burn them. What I'm saying is it strange to you? It is their work as regulators.
Yeah.
So the NUC, why is it that they don't have a task force that goes around to check?
So, but don't you think at the same time, don't you think that the NUC are equally complicit to all of this? And shouldn't the NUC equally be investigated?
No, not that. We are saying the same thing.
Yes.
Maybe I explained it well. Why did we wait this long? And the blame, if up to 58 investors operating for this long, you can't blame them anymore. Somebody who should have been regulating them or checking them chose to turn a blind eye.
Exactly.
And allow them, yes, so
exactly.
The satellite should really be on the NUC, on the DSS, on the police, on the Minister of Education, and on whoever had oversight on education and chose to keep quiet when this 58, and it means that there are more. There are more. It's an epidemic. And in any case, where did they even enforce this? At most, it's not on Lagos and Abuja. Because I'm sure if you went around the country, you will find a plethora of them. People are just cashing out on Nigeria's appetite for survival. Everybody wants to get something. This man he said he said he got the certificate like pizza. He just made a phone call.
With 600,000 naira.
He got the certificate. The last one people were alleging that it was 2 million. The question is, see, the way last own was even dispatched was not even that it didn't happen. They said that it was they put blame on
the satellite campus.
But the question is, for how long? And because in the Nigerian case, sometimes this is all you hear. We've shut them down, but go back 1 month later. They may still be in business. Now, can we also take that data and check and say how many people have they graduated? How many people have used their certificates to get work, either in the private sector or government services and so on? So, but the question is even that when people go for employment at, let's say, Ministry of Justice or Ministry of Education itself, and people say, I school from so and so place, how is it that when you tender your
certificate,
the thing didn't flag somewhere?
That is exactly the question I actually wanted to ask, because I used to know a time when you apply for a job and you submit your certificate, it is the duty and the responsibility of the institution that want to employ you to do the fact finding, to go and do the dirty job, to know if really you graduated from the school. What is going wrong? Can we equally say the general institutions that we have are equally not so caring about this, and maybe had given the opportunity for this to strive.
The compromise or the decadence in the Nigerian state is better left to the imagination. You don't want to think of it. You don't want to come face to face with it. I'll give an example. There was a school that wanted to change university and that wanted to change its ID card from old to new. The old one, nothing was wrong with it. The people didn't think it was there. I mean, it was just an ID card. And then it had, I don't know what that thing is called now. It's not neon sign. It's something like an emblem, something embedded, but it's like a security feature on the ID.
Yeah.
You know those that if you turn it this way, the color changes to be green.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's shiny. Has a silver color. That feature was on the old one. Then it was hard and thick. Then the new one that was produced didn't have the security feature.
Okay.
And somebody called, so another person said, see the old one.
So the old one was better than the new one.
The old one didn't have security feature.
Okay, the old one didn't have.
No. The old one had security feature.
Okay,
The new one didn't have. The new one was whiter, but was lighter and could be broken easily. And they were wondering. They said, who even does this? That you have an ID card that does not have any security feature. You know, ID cards, passports, and things like that, driver's license, are supposed to be a part of not just identifying yourself, but are part of criminal investigation. Because that sign, that's whatever index, that thing on your card or on anybody's card is unique to that. It's like DNA is unique to that person.
Yeah.
You can't find it anywhere else. So anywhere the person enters, by automation, you can tell if the person was there or if somebody used the person's ID card or whatever to access that place. Without this kind of checks, backed by technology, how do you? So sometimes you wonder, how then does the Nigerian state check itself? How do we know when something is right and when something is wrong? A country in which to register for IPs payment platform. Some people have been employed by federal government, and sometimes for a year or two, they're waiting to be enrolled on IPs. That's exactly what I was saying. You know, the IPs alone, to enroll on IPs, sometimes workers are waiting 6 months, 1 year. And then the question is, how do we even gauge the productivity of the federal civil service? Can the civil servant say they were not aware of this? Can police say they didn't know about this? Can DSS say they didn't know about this? A country that sincerely and genuinely didn't know about this kind of illegal what's it called, so-called illegal investors operating, and just getting to know is in serious danger. It means anything can come here, operate neatly, clinically, and nobody knows. And it is causing harm to the state and to the country. This is why we can not only arrest the operators, we must also look in, as I said earlier, who are those that have the oversight and chose to keep quiet. They must be brought under the hammer of the law. Until that is done, we only paying lip service to what is a grievous matter.
Now let's look at the brighter side. Let's look at the other side of the coin. In 2023, you know, we have had countries experience educational tourism, where people come to countries to learn. You know, especially with the evolution of technology, we have virtual schools now, we have online schools now. You necessarily don't need to go to Harvard. You can be in Nigeria and be a legitimate student of Harvard and other Ivy League schools. Don't you think that this crackdown is a situation where the authorities haven't thought about the advantage? Instead of cracking them down, isn't it possible to say, okay, we understand you've done wrong, but can we legitimize you while we take advantage of all of these things, ensure that if you are legally given the license to operate well? Don't you think that would have been an opportunity to grow our economy and to grow the educational sector in Nigeria?
Good question. First, we need to know, when the NUC chairman or secretary said illegal universities, what did he really mean? Was he speaking? Was he speaking out of emotion, or was it really true that they were illegal? If they were illegal, then they were purely criminal enterprise. You can't legitimize that. Okay. What can you do if there are to the extent of their criminality, you prosecute, and when they are convicted, the law must take its course. There's no question about it. But if they were registered, we are paying taxes, and all of that.
Yeah.
If any power was involved, then we need to now look at the nuances. Good. And ask. I mean, that would be purely administrative, and etc. So we need to ask a few questions. Are they in need at this time?
Of course they are.
Well,
with the population of our youngsters coming out from secondary school.
But even at that, to the extent of their culpability in criminal activity. So, for example, you are selling certificates in 2 months. Come on, man.
Yeah,
you should face the law.
Yeah, they're selling the certificates in 2 months. It's because there is no room for them to operate properly. Because if they were to, because I know of online schools like you see institutions, big blue chip international institutions like Google, they operate online schools now. Certificates are recognized internationally. In 1 month's time, you have your cybersecurity certificate and all. Those are specialized.
Not degrees. Okay.
Exactly.
Yes.
So why not we at least try to be ingenious for a while in this country?
I know what you mean, but that is really at the discretion of the state. I'm using this term for an advice reason. Okay. If the state feels that this thing that was a threat to it could become an asset, they know how to do the conversion process. That's no problem.
But do they even understand that?
It's up to them. It's like when after World War II, when they went and saw what Hitler scientists were doing, instead of prosecuting them, America took them over and turned
exactly.
So, but if they're not meeting any, so what are they even studying there? Can they teach nuclear physics and nuclear science there? Can they give us a solution that can beat Boko Haram? Can they bring a solution that can immediately turn around the problem of the challenge of food inflation? Are they pioneering any research in agriculture? If they are not, then they are dispensable. You see, this issue of converting a threat to an asset must be that you have an Einstein or a Wiener von Braun or a Leo Szilard, or somebody who has something that can make the Air Force now, Nigerian Air Force, become one of the best in the world overnight. If you have, no country will foolishly put you away. If you have such skills, why not? And that's why I said the state knows what to do. But if you're just there to make money, I think that these people were operating as a cartel, some kind of mafia that were just selling out. And this person got certificate and went for NYSC. We need to now go to the NYSC to say, look, there's a way to standardize the degrees you process for service. There must be some kind of uniform. Our country is porous. Anybody walks in and walks out. One is security, now even in education. Most of the sector, I always said it behind this. I always said that in this country, not everybody needs what you need to get what they want. There are those who just sit back and get anything that they think is they want, and they just get it like that overnight. No matter what that thing is. And we've seen here that somebody can sit back in his house and make a phone call, and the next thing, he has courier bringing university degree to him. What they have done, they don't know what they've done. They've made this country, I think that to a large extent, only the people left now are our doctors. Because the world's need for Nigerian doctors, okay, is a legitimization or a justification or an accreditation, as it were, for our system that they're able to produce professionals who can. Yeah, so in a way, our doctors are ambassadors, if you look at it. But other than that, we've just turned everything into something that only criminals can benefit from. I hope and pray and wish that this one that they've now found, these people that they've arrested, they won't just arrest them. I want to believe that by Monday, Tuesday, they should have put a charge sheet together and taken them to court. You don't just arrest and for the propaganda of it, for the fun of it. What do you do after the arrest? That's the question. All
right. So lastly, let's talk about our ability to manage information in this country. We understand the fact that Nigeria has its, worst, but we can't say that this is, a situation that other countries haven't seen. For example, in the United States of America, it has records as the country with the highest number of mother, right, internationally. But they have a way of managing such information that it doesn't stain the image of the country. In Nigeria, we're overbloating it. The media is spreading it. And we are all partaking in staining the name of Nigeria as a country. Don't you think our rate of mismanagement of information is equally posing as a threat to the national state?
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Does Nigeria need to make you feel patriotic towards it? If I say, are you patriotic, you would say yes.
Yes.
But are you willingly being patriotic when Nigeria is eliciting that patriotism from you? Is Nigeria able to make you love it as a citizen of Nigeria? I don't think that your answer can be a yes. It may not be a yes. Now, you are using America. I'll use Dubai. You will never even hear of any bad news coming out of Dubai.
But that doesn't mean there isn't. That doesn't mean there isn't. But they have a way of managing such information.
No, the difference is that for every murder in the US, they don't cover it up. They will arrest, they shoot out the perpetrator, prosecute the person, convict the person, sentence the person. And you will see it happening live. It's a transparent, open system. But systems work, institutions work, the police works, state police. In fact, the Supreme Court of a state can unseat a governor if it was necessary. Systems work in America. In Nigeria, right? Look at the Plateau massacre. I should not write about it. I should not speak about it because government will take care of them. A country in which some people are more Nigerian than others, and the government appears by its action to be endorsing that I should be quiet about it, and I should not write about it. The people who are managing information is not Nigerian. It's the government. Any day the government wakes up to do what is right, Nigerians know what to do. Look, in sociology, they talk about cause and effect. It is normal. It is what you garbage in that you garbage out. I said earlier, does Nigeria make you want to be patriotic towards it? Look at our national anthem. They are commanding arise, O compatriots. Nigeria's call obey. Serve your fatherland. What does that mean? The old anthem said, Nigeria, we hail thee, our own dear native land. Though tribe and tongue may differ, in brotherhood we stand. What does that? Just look at the two. Look at the two. Nigeria, we hail thee, our own dear native land. So you own it. And that though tribe and tongue may differ, in brotherhood. I can tell you and say, brother, I know, but for the sake of Nigeria, let's do it. But when your anthem is telling you, arise, O compatriots, Nigeria's call obey, serve your fatherland. Come on.
Don't you think it's simply because of your modulation that's making it look like?
I don't think so. I think the lines are bad. It's bad poetry. It's bad poetry.
Okay.
It's not inspirational. It's not persuasive. It is commandeering. You cannot command people to be patriotic. You must earn it. Trust is earned. You must earn it. You must work for it. You must pay for it. You must invest in it to get it back. So where we are today is that more and more Nigerians would rather look for how to game the system than to pay for what they want, because they've made righteousness look like a tall order. And for the sake of that, crime has become the order of the day. In education, in agriculture, in healthcare, and all these places, the government must take the lead. I'll end with this. July 29, 1975, right, was the day Gowon was ousted from power. And 75, yes. And Muritala Mohammed became head of state. The day Muritala became head of state, I think it was in the evening that it was announced. By the following morning, this is a well-known story. By the following morning, the Oshodo-Apa Expressway, notorious for all this hold-up, all the vehicles cleared.
Why?
Well, because they knew they had that a man.
There's a new sheriff in town.
A man who broke no nonsense had become head of state. All the vehicles cleared. Don't tell me corruption. Change begins with me. Change begins with you, the government. When you walk in that direction, the people will naturally do what? Follow. They are called followers. They are not called initiators. They are called followers. So if the leading is right, the following will also be right. The following is wrong because the leading is also wrong.
Exactly. They say education is the bedrock of any striving nation, and that's why I think it's very important that we get our education right, and every institution responsible in ensuring that our educational system is legit. It's important that we all put our hands on deck to ensure that that works for us. I'd love to say thank you to Mr. Cyril Abaku for being part of our show today and making too much sense on our discussion for today. And to you, our audience, would love to say thank you also for being part of our show today. But please do remember to check out on our website at www.enterprisetvnews.com, and also follow us on all our social media platforms at Enterprise TV 7. Subscribe to our YouTube channel also at Enterprise TV 7. I am Henry Gubik. I'll see you tomorrow for yet another awesome time. Cheers.
Enterprise TV, a tradition of truth.